Hey there everyone, welcome back to another Game Vault video. As always, I'm Captain Beefy. This is the Game Vault, and we're going to talk a little bit more about some Sweet Baby Inc., DEI, and this whole LGBT agenda, and what a cancer it is to the entirety of entertainment. Not just movies and television, but especially in gaming. It's absolutely disgusting, and if you agree with that, go ahead and leave a like on the video. But let's cue up the music, and we'll get right into it. So, we've seen a lot of layoffs in 2024 so far within this industry. We've seen entire studios go under, get shut down by their by the larger studios that own them. We've seen layoffs, 10%, 25%, whatever, in different studios. We've seen triple and quadruple A games fail time and time again just this year. And it's been a disaster of epic proportions. I believe gaming is headed for a major crash, a major fall, and we're going to see a lot of destruction out there, which is terrible in the short term, but in the long term, it's going to be good. And the reason for that is because for every big studio that crumbles and falls under the weight of its own bullshit, you're going to get 2 or 3 smaller studios rising up that have learned from that. You're going to get people that actually enjoy this field, working on games, creating them, and all that kind of stuff, and they're not interested in poisoning them and all that other stuff. I think it's these cancerous individuals and organizations that are really, really costing us good games. But let's start talking about this here. This is a rumor, and a rumor only. And where there's smoke, there's fire. This could be true, could not. Take it for what it's worth. Warner Brothers Discovery is discussing shuttering Rocksteady after Sweet Baby Inc. influenced Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League disaster. This game, in case you haven't noticed, it's been a disaster. Just absolute shit show. It's been out for a couple months now. But during the company's first quarter earnings results webcast, Chief Financial Officer Gunnar Weidenfels stated, starting with studios, the $400 million plus year-over-year decline during the first quarter was primarily due to the very tough competition we faced in games against the success of Hogwarts Legacy last year in the first quarter, in conjunction with the disappointing Suicide Squad release this past quarter, which we impaired, leading to a $200 million impact during the first quarter. So, wow. That's a lot of money to miss out on, right? Looking at the Steam chart here, okay? This thing, back in February when it was released, early February, it peaked at 13,000 players and immediately plummeted. This is when the Joker came out. It jumped back up to, I think it was around 3,000 roughly. And then it just tapered off again, and it's just been in the toilet ever since. The 24-hour peak at the time this shot was taken was 286. The current amount of players was 185. That's abysmal. Now they've got a new DLC coming out, and I think that DLC is only going to make this number drop even more. But Vera Dark is a YouTuber that she does a lot of coverage on this game. She declares Warner Brothers is internally talking about closing Rocksteady or having their 250 employees after Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League's bomb. She continues, I have heavily covered Warner Brothers games and Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League since release because of what it represented for Warner Brothers games and a beloved franchise. When it was greenlit, we were seeing a giant scramble for studios to create live service games, and this one was released too late, plus the content did not resonate with players. And here, this problem's bigger than Sweet Baby Inc. I will give it that. While Sweet Baby Inc. I'm sure poisoned the well to some degree and caused a lot of pushback and a lot of people saying, I don't even want to touch it now. Just like she said, it's a live service game, and it came out when there's already a slew of live service games out there, and it's a live service game that has a price tag on it. It wasn't a free live service game, right? I think it was a full price $70 game, and it was created by a studio that Rocksteady that doesn't do live service games. They did the classic Arkham games, which were single player games, and they were fantastic games. They were some, wonderful games. Now, granted, from my understanding, is a lot of the guys that worked on those games are gone now. They've moved on to other positions and all that. So it's a whole new team or whatever, or maybe there's only a few left. So it's there's a big difference these days. But still, when a studio is known for something, they're known for something. They kind of have the infrastructure for it, right? That's what they do. And these guys were totally out of their league, I think. And you combine that with the glut of these the glut of these live service games that are out there, and then you gloss it over with that high profile Sweet Baby Inc. controversy from a couple months ago. It was like the perfect storm to destroy this game. I'm not going to say any one of those was the major factor of it, but we know all of it was there. So anyway, on top of the rumor, the game's featuring more negative press. Here is the next DLC character. The first one was the Joker, who came out looking somehow worse than Jared Leto's iteration of the Joker. I don't know how, but they pulled it off. He looks like some weird little gay Joker guy. I don't know. This is Mrs. Freeze. And she just looks like some non-binary women's basketball player that's painted blue in some weird snow pants and whatnot. I don't know. This thing is an abomination. It's just absolute garbage. I guarantee you that this game is going to just drop off after that. This will probably be the last DLC. I don't know if they're obligated to put any more out after this or not, any more season passes, whatever. They're just wasting their time and they're not recouping any money. They may as well just pull the plug on the whole thing, shut down the servers, take the hit, and move on. And here's what's kind of funny is that Warner Brothers was getting rid of that picture on Twitter. Like, if people were using this picture, they were copyright striking them or whatever it's called on there, saying that they can't use the picture. So, but that's that. What do you guys think about that? Do you think they're going to shut it down? But it gets even better. Sweet Baby Inc. is just so poisonous, and you really are learning who the scumbags, who the lowest of the low are in this industry, who are the absolute largest bottom feeders out there, the catfish living off the shit that drops to the bottom of the lake. So, Bloomberg reporter, and we know who this is, claims Sweet Baby Inc. boycott that crushed Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League sales is just angry hallucinations created by grifters. Bloomberg reporter Jason Schreier, who said that. He previously worked at Kotaku. I wonder if he's on JT's Kotaku detected list. We'll have to check that out some point in time and see. But yeah, that's his take on it. He recently published an article for Bloomberg claiming to reveal inside details about the failure of Suicide Squad. In his article, he claims that the game's $200 million failure is due to a constantly shifting vision, a culture of rigid perfectionism, and a genre pivot that was ill-suited for the studio. He also noted that the game was plagued with countless delays. Those are all valid points, Jason. I will give you that. However, he makes no mention of Sweet Baby Inc. Detected Steam curator list created by Brazilian gamer Cabrutus Rambo that has nearly 400,000 followers now. I remember when it came out, it was like 20, 30, 100. The list is essentially a boycott list of all games that Sweet Baby Inc. has worked on that are available to purchase on Steam. The first game added to the list was Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League. Now, to be fair, 100%, I'm trying to remember the timeline of when Sweet Baby Inc. Detected came out. I think it was after this game was released, but this game was already out and in the toilet. I don't think it was beforehand. I think they were very close, though, if memory serves me correctly. But anyway, since its creation, the list has evolved to include games that are infected with DEI agenda, but have not employed Sweet Baby Inc. Cabrutus has also added one game that he recommends to the list, The Great Rebellion, which he declares has 100% DEI free. Probably the only game in the last 10 years to be that way. Unbelievable. Anyway, Sweet Baby's involvement in the game was a major problem for many gamers, with YouTuber Endymion, who has nearly 250,000 subscribers, noting that writer Amy Lee Shaw and Sweet Baby Inc. ruined the game. He shared in February, a week after the game released, "Of course, Amy tries to take the moral high ground here, but the truth is that the damage is done, and what her and her team over at Sweet Baby has done to Suicide Squad, not to mention other games like Spider-Man 2 and more. Everything they touched lessens and cheapens the stories and characters within them. It's gotten so bad that the name Sweet Baby is all but considered a taboo term. It's just as bad as when customers label a product woke now." Now, openly stating your game has any relations to Sweet Baby has become a code for people to avoid that product entirely, like the plague, because chances are whatever your game is, if Sweet Baby is involved, it'll be ruined and made into a pandering mess to some capacity, he added. And honestly, he's not 100% wrong there. Now, it doesn't mean they destroy every game, but wherever I've noticed or touched, it has an impact on the game and not a positive impact. Something like God of War Ragnarok, very good game, a lot of great combat and all that, moving story and all that. Sweet Baby Inc. was involved in there, and I know they were behind Angerboda, the black frost giant girl. And I've said it in the past before, this is taking nothing away from the performance. The girl did a fantastic job in this role. Prime acting there. I loved her. Absolutely loved her. But why couldn't they have just made her look like a frost giant? Like, they didn't have to change her color, right? Christopher Judge, who plays Kratos, is a black man. They didn't make Kratos black for him. Now granted, he took on the role of an existing character, but still, they could have. They've done worse in gaming and in movies, as far as race swapping goes and all that. They could have done that, but they didn't. So, why did they do it with her? It was kind of silly. When I first saw her, I was like, I'm like, and it's nothing against the girl, once again. Fantastic actress, but it's just, why? Why did we do that? It takes you right out of the game. So anyway, first so Schreier really denies that Sweet Baby Inc. has anything to do with the sales. And that's a lie, Jason, and you know it, you freaking scumbag. But anyway, Justin, not one mention of the woke tone turning off fans or SBI influence. Really, Jason? This article is about what actually happened. This article talked about some of the things that were involved, but you really did ignore something big. When he was pressed on the matter, he added, I asked 24 people who worked on the game what went wrong, and not a single one of them mentioned the word Sweet Baby. You're chasing angry hallucinations created by grifters who make money off your rage. Right. After claiming in his article that one of the reasons the game failed was due to a constantly shifting vision, Schreier then contradicted himself and declared, last thing I'll say on this topic, the premise and story of Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League were the vision of Sefton Hill, director of the Arkham trilogy. Anyone who tells you that Sweet Baby made them kill Batman or do anything else is lying, period. I mean, it's, there's always contradictions in these stories and all that. Now, again, from the time something is conceptualized to the time it is created, a lot of things can happen in the creative process and change it along the way. And while it may not be the only thing that impacted this game and the only thing that damaged its sales, I guarantee you that it did have an impact. Because I'll tell you what, knowing that Sweet Baby Inc. is involved in something does impact what I buy. Knowing if something is woke or not does impact if I buy it. And call me what you want on that. I don't care. My money is not going to go to support this garbage. Let's move on to the last thing I want to talk about today, and this one's great. Dragon Age the Veilguard game director, who describes himself as a queerosexual gendermancer, claims game is inherently queer. That's all I need to hear. I'm done. I wouldn't even touch this game with a 10-foot pole. What the fuck is a queerosexual gendermancer? I mean, these people are so sick in the head, absolutely sick in the head. BioWare announced it's renaming its upcoming Dragon Age game from Dragon Age Dreadwolf to Dragon Age Veilguard. At the time, it's been brought to public attention that the game's director is a man pretending to be a woman who supports Black Lives Matter. He also believes the game is inherently queer. In a blog post titled "The Next Dragon Age Has a New Title," BioWare explained that the change in title is because they did not want to put the focus on the enemy, but rather the player and his companions. The blog post detailed, naturally, the Dreadwolf still has an important part in this tale, but you and your companions, not your enemies, are the heart of the new experience. So, to capture what this game is all about, we changed the name as the original title, didn't show just how strongly we feel about our new heroes, their story, and how you need to bring them together to save all of Thetis. We proudly introduce you to Dragon Age the Veilguard. I mean, that's fair enough, right? BioWare previously revealed that the Dreadwolf was Solas, one of the companions introduced in Dragon Age Inquisition. A cinematic from the game shared back in December 2022 detailed, I knew him as Solas, a thoughtful mage obsessed with dreams, but long ago he had a different name, Fenharal, the Dreadwolf. ancient elven god of lies, or heroic rebel against tyranny, depending on which story you believe. In his final fight with the elven gods, Solus imprisoned them and created a veil that would split our world from the raw magic of the Fade. The cinematic continues, but now he wants to tear down that veil and destroy the world, and we're the only ones who can stop him. Following the announcement, Mark Kern, Grums, well, he's the one that revealed it. BioWare Dragon Age has been renamed Dragon Age the Veilguard. New gameplay trailer to debut on June 11th. I'm hoping for a great game free of modern politics. Uh-oh. And yeah, here you go. You can see the whole thing right here. This is the director. Corinne Bush with the tranny flag. I want to get toilet paper that's made that way. Anybody know where that is? Trans woman, she, her. Sorry, you're a he, him. You're a dude. I don't care what you think. Game director of Dragon Age, Dreadwolf, queerosexual gendermancer, whatever the fuck that means. Opinions are my own. Trans rights, Black Lives Matter. Yeah, that's all I need to see. I'm done. That game may as well not exist. But while this information is being brought to light to a wider public by Grums, a developer story focused on Bush reveals his identity as a queer trans woman has indeed been injected into the game. Why do they have to do this all the time? Why do they have to inject themselves into games? It's so weird. Now, as somebody who writes, I understand that aspects of your character, of you as a human being, as a person, are going to be in that game. A character may talk like you a little bit. A character may do certain things or have certain quirks, or they may be, every character in a story has a piece of you in it and a piece of other people your friends, your family, people you've seen on television, people you've crossed on the streets. That's just this weird combination of all these little parts put together into these characters. But, when you get these freaks involved, they just have to, as a queer trans woman, I have a perspective on the games that not everyone has. Dragon Age has long been a place where LGBT folks can see people like themselves represented respectfully. It's inherently very queer, and it's such a rare thing for marginalized communities to have representation where we feel proud and powerful in how we're depicted. Well, congratulations, your game's going to sell crap. Your studio's going to suffer, and you're going to cost a lot of people jobs. That's my prediction. Maybe even get the studio shut down. I don't know. We'll have to see how things go. But hey, you injected yourself into the game, you freak of nature. I hope you're happy about that. Hopefully that will pay the bills for you. But he also added, it's so deeply meaningful for so many. I often get emotional when I think about what it would have meant for a younger version of myself to see someone like her in a game, and as a hero no less. I hope it can be a safe place for our queer players to know they're not alone, and that they're brilliant and worthy, and that they're not only welcome, but celebrated. Bush also made it clear that he's guiding the game to adhere to his vision. Game directors are sometimes thought of as big personalities who are singularly responsible for the purity of their creative vision, but for me, it's really about being a steward for the vision that we as a team have collectively defined. I get a high-level view of everything as it's coming together and can steer the project as it does. But ultimately, it's about empowering people to work together, play with ideas, offer critiques, and make decisions, all to help a cohesive experience for the player while we fillet each other. All right, I added that last part. So, yeah, and I'll link all these things down below if you can read more of this garbage here from that Park Place. And I'm saying it's garbage from that Park Place, but it's absolute garbage. These people are just so disgusting. So, yeah. Oh, look at this. Yeah, already BioWare has been cutting people 50 roles of BioWare back in August of 2023. But yeah, we're gonna see some heads roll after this game comes out. I guarantee you that. Probably lose a couple hundred people there. I don't know. Let me know what you think down in the comments below about all this nonsense. I mean, I'm so disgusted with DEI, and it's really a big, huge poison in here. But we got to keep pushing back. We got to keep fighting against this ideology because it's wrong, it's damaging, and it's ruining everything it touches. It's going to destroy this game before it comes out. Guaranteed. Guaranteed. Leave a comment down below. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and ring that bell for notifications. I appreciate each and every one of you. I'll see you next time. Until then, peace.